different. It's been an election marked by razor-thin polling margins and some big money voices backing both campaigns. Well, joining me now, Khosla Ventures Managing Director Keith Rabois. He is supporting former President Trump. His high-profile early investments include Affirm, DoorDash, and Stripe. Keith, it's great to have you back on the show. Welcome.
Pleasure to be with you.
So I'm going to start by asking the same question I asked Bradley Tusk yesterday, and that is, it seems like there is a lot of support, a lot of publicity, a lot of money flowing from the tech titans and the venture investors, high-profile venture investors, including yourself, into this presidential election cycle. Is it more than we've seen in the past? And if so, what does it signify about how much hinges on this election outcome?
I do think it's more than 10, 15, 20 years ago. I think many people in tech really weren't interested in politics, but as someone else has said, politics is interested in us. So it sort of forced tech people to get involved in regulatory policy, in political elections, because nobody allows tech to sort of innovate with unfettered freedom. But historically, Silicon Valley people wanted to be left alone. That's why they were on the West Coast. And a lot of people in politics kind of didn't notice. And that's why innovation was fueled and flexible. But that's changed in the last 5, 10, 15 years. So we don't really have a choice anymore.
Okay. So as somebody who historically has not supported Trump, you are supporting Trump in this election cycle. What changed your mind? What was it about policies or the man or something else that brought you to the table here?
The most important driver was October 7th, when these atrocities happened and Israel was threatened, people were murdered, raped, and the current administration did nothing about it. The current administration didn't protect Jewish students on campus. Anti-Semitism is accounting for hate crimes left and right. There's basically been a Charlottesville rally on every major campus in the United States. And this administration completely ignores, won't even meet with Jewish students. So as someone who grew up Jewish, who went to the Holocaust Museum with my parents and my grandparents, it's just unacceptable to allow Jewish people to be threatened in the United States today. And so that alone made me change my opinion. Then once I got to meet President Trump, I think there's a caricature in the media about him. And maybe there's a caricature in the media about us all, but there is about him. And I saw the reality distortion that the mainstream legacy media was applying. And I realized there's a lot of very good things about him, even though I did not support him in 2016, in fact, was opposed to him in 16, 2020, and earlier in the primaries.
So in terms of the policies that matter most in this election, I mean, you just talked about Israel and you talked about the support on the geopolitical stage. But from a tech standpoint, an AI standpoint, an investing or business standpoint, what matters most?
Well, to normal people, the economy, the lack of jobs, as we saw the worst job report in decades. For example, when President Trump ran for re-election in 2020, the media highlighted that he only created 460,000 jobs in his last quarter, and that was considered a major disappointment. This administration had 12,000 jobs. Basically, the only jobs that are created in the United States these days are by the government, which is awful. And so I think if you're a normal person, you have to care about inflation and jobs in the future of the economy. Obviously, wealthy people in tech are going to be fine. But I do have friends, family, who are normal people, and I care about that. Secondly, immigration threatens everybody. Everybody is at risk with open borders, risk for terrorism, risk for murders. And we need to stop that. It's an insane policy that this administration has consciously decided to open our borders to basically the worst people in the world.